All right, Mason Woods. I hope that you'll join me on Saturday, or at least try to join me on Saturday. Convince Miss Melissa to join you as well. She can boo her butt off at me. I know that she's wanting to do that. Up there in Jasper, Alabama, you can all find us at the Star Spangled Bash, 7:30 at Swan Gym, right there in Jasper, Alabama. The tickets are on Eventbrite today. You can check them out on my Facebook page, on my Twitter machine. I've already put those out. We will be at the Star Spangled Bash, and I have the pleasure and the privilege of becoming the guest ring announcer. I am so excited. I've never done this before, so if I choke up and get nervous right beforehand, cut me a break. But I know that beforehand, I'll get a little pep talk from our friend Joe Wood. Joe Wood joins us, New Era Wrestling star. And man, the last show, he just was on the wrong end of the stick. I was up there. He was beating the mess out of Win Brantley, the playmaker, and absolutely taking him to town. But you had DNR coming out doing the distraction ploy, low blow this, hit over the head that. And I guess Jasper Reed told us that DNR is dead. They're bringing in Win Brantley, and they will become the draw officially at the Star Spangled Bash. So we're here to find out how Joe Wood is getting his revenge on Saturday. Joe, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us, or your vengeance, I guess, retribution. We're not in the revenge business because that's not who you are. Good morning. How are you? And what's the plan for Joe Wood on Saturday?
I haven't been told exactly. Well, firstly, I'm doing well. Appreciate you guys having me. I've seen a lot of people do this. I was looking forward to getting my turn. So, but yeah, man, I'm not positive what the plan for Saturday is. I know what my plan for Saturday is. I don't know if that's going to follow the game script for what the booker has planned for Saturday. But like you said, I had beat Win pretty much senseless at that point, and then for whatever reason, they picked me to be the victim of them joining forces. And I don't want to get pinned by Win Brantley. Like that is not something that is a career highlight for me. So I will be looking to maim the three of them to the best of my ability. However that takes shape, I'm not positive yet. I haven't been told anything. I haven't seen anything announced, but that's what I'm going to do. I can tell you that.
Well, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully maim the three of them. We had Jasper Reed on 2 weeks ago, and Jasper told us that he was trying to set up a match with the Modern Day Kings, trying to set up some sort of elimination style match. He said that they needed to find new partners, so maybe a partnership with Ace and Cam is in your cards. What would if it let's just keep you in the driver's seat here. What's the deal with Win? What's the deal with Win, being the antagonist, and why do you think they chose you to really cement their partnership?
I don't know what Win's deal is, because really, I trained some with Win and Reed and Sam for that matter. So to my knowledge, we had a pretty good history. I know before mine and Win's match, he'd already started to develop kind of a nasty attitude. So my guess as to why I was the victim here was Win was finally presented with something that he knew there was absolutely no way he was going to be able to beat me by himself. And finally went to those guys and made them that pitch that, and I don't know, Clash at the Keystone, the three of them kind of had a little bit of synergy going there as well, and they got absolutely annihilated by my brother Bubba and Az. Just stacked them, legitimately and literally stacked their bodies up at the end of that. So when they don't have the numbers game, they're chumps, So yeah, if they are putting together some kind of multi-man deal, I am happy to join Ace and Cam. I don't even know that we would need anyone else. I don't know how big these teams are going to be, how many people it's going to be, but if I get the call for that, 100%, I am there for that.
We're hanging out with Joe Wood from New Era Wrestling. Joe, I have been scouring your social media, and I have seen exactly. I was gonna go right there. If you're watching us on the YouTube machine, Joe Wood just take a big old bite of a pickle. Let's save that. Perfect. We're gonna get a new voicemail. Big old bite of the pickle. I've been seeing it on your social medias. You winning these wrestling matches, and you're going Dr. Pepper, and a pickle in your victory celebration. What started that? And how was that food combination for you?
It's good, man. I didn't know it was something I liked. So I do. I know you've mostly covered New Era, but I also wrestle every Friday at Pro South in Piedmont. I know most of the guys you've had on pull double duty a lot of the time, like Justin McKenzie. You had him on. He's another featured player over there. So I came out one night. I didn't have a match, right? There wasn't anybody for me. This was shortly after me and my brother had finally formed Bloodborne, which is us finally tagging with one another, and the week after that, Greg couldn't be there, or Lincoln couldn't be there. Apologies. Shooting him. So I came out just to tell the crowd, wanted to say what's up to them. Didn't have a match scheduled, and this young upstart Trey Jordan jumped me. Shortly before that, though, I said, so since I'm not wrestling, I'm just going to get a Dr. Pepper and a pickle, and I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to enjoy the show because I like those things. And he jumped me, and we wrestled, and I, went over him. The next week, Lincoln was there. I got to get used to doing that. And we wrestled. Trey had a partner, a guy named LG, another young upstart, very small guy, so he didn't have much in the tank against us. But so we got over them, and afterwards I was like, I never got my pickle and Dr. Pepper, last week. So Tubbs, who's a stand-up dude that does pretty much everything at Pro South. He's reffed, he's worked concessions, he does all kinds of stuff. So I asked Tubbs, I was like, hey, Tubbs, can we get a couple of Dr. Peppers and a couple of pickles? So we stone cold the Dr. Peppers outside the ring, and the crowd liked it, so I was like, yeah, maybe there's something to this. So, and then this past Friday, I got punched with brass knuckles. A guy named Stephen Colosi, he's a Philly boy, he's a dastardly guy, and left me laying. And Tubbs had the idea. He called the ref over and gave him a pickle and Dr. Pepper and sat it next to me. And it was kind of like a revive for me, brought me back too. So I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things in wrestling. I think you just never know what people are going to respond to. But when they start responding to something, you got to roll with it,
Bethany Duggar joined us on the YouTube machine saying that is an iconic move now. And so you'll be having to carry exactly the Dr. Pepper and the pickle everywhere you go.
I want to ask you about wrestling, being able to wrestle with your brother, just kind of what that experience is like, how nice it's been to be able to do that, to get into this together and to, go and get in there and knock some heads together.
So finally teaming up's cool. We did have our one team up. The first time we tagged together was the first Clash at the Keystone. It was last November. And that was a pretty surreal night, man. That was a Birmingham show, so a lot of my people were there. We started this in 2019. We've always connected over wrestling. I came through some rough times. Finally started getting my life back together, and that was one thing we always consistently talked about. So he just gets this wild idea, let's go try it, so he, I guess, Googles or searches or whatever, and he comes across Bubba doing these training sessions before the New Era shows. So we go, and we're like, we might go just get absolutely beaten to death, and we can at least tell our friends we tried, But when we both got in the ring, it was okay, this is pretty cool, and we went through the paces of it. Now, Lincoln had been doing CrossFit for 5 years before this, and I was unmolded Play-Doh going into this. So he was a little ahead of the curve as far as getting ring ready and getting into shape. So he got in a lot faster. And then the pandemic hit and all these things happen where we're out of the game for 6 to 9 months because nobody knows what they're doing. And I kind of lost the track of it a little bit and just settled for a while that, like, I'll just ref or ring announce or just be there to help. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And then Ace Haven, one of the modern day kings, messages me. And we had run the Comic-Con Expo in Birmingham a few times, like the anime thing. Those shows were phenomenal because, I mean, it was like, 800-900 people in the BJCC. So it was really cool. And there was I was reffing this battle royal, and I had a Batman shirt on beneath my referee shirt. And Ace and a lot of his guys, it was a cosplay deal, and they were all Batman villains. And somebody bumped into me, and the ref shirt came off, and they saw the Batman shirt, so they go to jump me. And I turned the tables on them and got physical for the first time, and the crowd just detonated, man. And, like, I went to the back after that on this rush and was like, I have to figure this out, So I'm going to shout out David Paget. He's one of my partners at work here. He has a strength training program. He calls DDST, Diamond Dave Strength Training. I went to him and I was like, get me strong, and I think the results there probably speak for themselves. I would put maybe Az is stronger than me as far as locker room guys go, but I mean, I've put some serious work into this. So that sets me up. I started working at Pro South before New Era consistently, and Lincoln was a little bit of a scumbag at Pro South. So the origins of our story was not good. We were on different sides of the fence, and we had a pretty serious blood feud. I attacked him at the family Thanksgiving and threw him off of a cliff. I don't know. There is footage of that. If it would definitely be worth your time to check that out. He did survive. I went to make amends around Christmas and was attacked with a wrench. Seemingly, he was the culprit here. We would later find out that he was not. It was the fabulous Douglas Sanders, who I've put in place since then. But that culminated. We had a last brother standing match this past December to put things to bed. And I think both of us kind of had a little shake of perspective after that. And then we had a match called Caged Warfare in February where he put his wicked ways to rest. And then he kind of took a hiatus, did some soul searching. And I recently had it was oddly enough, Wynn and Reed, of all the scumbags, they were my Trios Cup partners at Pro South. So we win our first match. We're in the semifinals at this point. We get to the next one, and it's me, Wynn, and Reed fighting a team called Carmageddon. They were a man down, so we got a 3-2 advantage going into this thing. I go to tag them. They drop off the apron, essentially flick the bird, leave me high and dry. I don't know why they did this, but I had a little bit of a convoluted history in Pro South up to this point. So I was having trouble finding a partner, had to go on the partner quest. I don't know if you saw any of that, Joe, the videos we put up.
Yes. Nobody wanted to join you.
It was not a successful endeavor. And so I had to turn to blood, and that was the genesis of Bloodborne. We finally got on the same page. We are, as a tag team, we're 3-0. Nobody has beat us as a team yet. I don't think anybody's going to beat us as a team. And I'm sure at some point, pun intended, but this will bleed over into New Era before too long, I'd have to imagine.
Well, we're hanging out with Joe Wood, and we're getting ready for the Star Spangled Bash. It's going to be right there, Jasper, Alabama, Swan Gym at 7:30 this Saturday. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. There are several great matches already announced. You can see Brother Azrael against Larry D. We had Larry D on last week, and he was telling us that he's going to bring the pain, basically, to New Era Wrestling. We've already got scheduled Win Brantley and Action Mike Jackson as well, or announced maybe. I mean, that was announced last last time, but Action Mike Jackson, he's a very busy man. So Joe Wood stepped in for Mike Jackson. That's what's kind of led us to this place. We also have Bubba Cagle against Max Sled, and then of course the main event is going to be the Alpha Alexander Lincoln against the irredeemable Aiden Andrews. So I want to take you right to the main event. You did have the misfortune in the last New Era show at Anniversary of being on the wrong end of what will be called the draw now at this point. But hopefully you were recovered enough to be able to watch Alpha take on Dawson Kimbrell. That was an amazing, really, really strong main event in the last show, and really Lincoln coming out on top just by a hair. Dawson Kimbrell was really, really impressive. And so after that match, he's jumped by the masked man that we've all been, who is this? What's going on?
Man.
He jumps him again and then rips off the mask, and it is Aiden Andrews. It is the irredeemable one. So I just want to put you in the brother role. You're in the back. You're watching all this unfold. What do you think about the masked man revealing himself and it being Aiden Andrews? And then how do you think this is all going to play out in the Star Spangled Bash main event?
Well, I think now that the curtain's dropped, Aiden will probably get what's coming to him. And my experience is when you're wearing masks and jumping people from behind, there's a reason for that tactic, and I know smart bad guys. I know all these things. And I know there's a size differential there. So, if there's the strategy that I'm softening them up and taking my shots when I can get them, there's a villainous part of me that can respect that, but this is family, So I waited back there for Aiden, never saw him, so I guess he went out the side door. Maybe he just left his bags in there, but I know face to face when the bell rings, I know my brother's healthy. I know he's had his eyes set on this. That's one thing with New Era, you got a month to get ready. He is, I think it was a mistake taking the mask off because there's a lot of Aiden Andrews footage out there that can be watched and studied over the next month. If I'm going into a match against somebody in a mask and I don't know who it is and all I've seen him do is punch and kick me while I'm looking up at the lights, what am I studying, So I think it was a tactical error when somebody's trying to be smart, but the ego just wouldn't let him, you had to know it was me, right? So I think that was dumb. And I think, I've wrestled Aiden, put Aiden through a table at Clash at the Keystone 2, and I pinned Aiden. So I've passed along some trade secrets because Aiden is a sadistic guy to the point where I think he is a little gluttonous for punishment and can overdo it, kind of not take his spots when he needs to. So I've passed this along to my brother. I think he'll be more than ready on Saturday.
Well, I cannot wait for it because we saw Aiden Andrews win that fatal four-way, and he's been really impressive anytime. You remember Aiden was the one he and Justin McKenzie were just chopping the mess out of each other right here in Tuscaloosa. You could hear it all the way to Old Colony right there. It was just pow, pow.
I told Aiden recently, so I see Aiden at Pro South a lot, and I was like, if I had to do a fantasy draft, starting my own wrestling promotion, he'd probably be at the top of my list. Because when you call him impressive, the guy, he can do anything. I think he is extremely impressive. I think he's one of the best wrestlers I know personally. But he needs to put the saboteur ways behind him. Because, he could do this the right way. And I think he'd be a great guy. But he's not doing that. And my history of seeing him on the stage has been making the wrong choice consistently. Now, it results in wins a lot of times. So, it's hard to say he messed up when he won a number one contender's fatal four-way and he has a title match coming up. I can't really criticize the results so much, but usually catches up to us at some point.
Well, hanging out with Joe Wood, but we've also talked a little bit of football with you outside of the ring as well. So why don't we try to incorporate some of our football fans as well? I think you might have been sitting there in our back end as we were debating Ty Simpson and what he's going to be this year. I'm on the optimistic side. Mason, I don't want to mischaracterize you. You're feeling
Unimpressed.
Unimpressed. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Joe Wood, so what do you think about the presumed Alabama starting quarterback in 2025?
I mean, I guess if you're the starter at Alabama, you're probably pretty good. I mean, I look around the big league right now, and like there's a lot of those guys taking snaps on Sundays. So like, there's a reason. And I think going back to last year, I believe DeBoer is a pocket passer heavy offense. I think his offense runs better. I think he did the best he could to get what he could out of Milroe. But I think Ty, which I'm complete transparency, I'm not like completely familiar with this dude's game, but I think he's way more of a traditional passer than Milroe was. So like, I would expect maybe not the explosions. I mean, Ryan Williams is still there, so you're going to get that. But like, I would say probably more consistency, but maybe less entertaining would be a way I might put it. Oh, God, James Carr just outed me in the chat.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't realize this. I thought you were I'm so sorry.
To be fair,
the people who are not watching, the people who are not watching, hold on one second. James Carr comments, Joe Wood is an Auburn fan. So take it away.
Heel turn. Now, so my first name's actually Jordan.
Oh, yes.
Full name. Yeah. Branded at birth. There was really no way around it. You know, my brother moved to Tuscaloosa, and here's some insight. He was once an Auburn fan. And, but he moved to Tuscaloosa, God, probably 20 years ago now. So his majority of his life has been a very serious Alabama fan. So I, don't give him too much hell for that. But, but the funny thing is I probably know more like about Alabama football than Auburn. Just, I'm more of an NFL guy, complete transparency. I'm a huge fantasy football nerd. If I was an Alabama fan, I'd probably be a lot more invested in college football because I've been a lot more successful. But hey, 2010, I lived in Tuscaloosa when Auburn won the championship. So that was a spitefully sweet moment for me. I've seen good things out of Auburn. I'm just a loyalist when it comes to that. Like, I just can't flip, but I've also living in Tuscaloosa through the Saban years. It gave me an appreciation. Like, I'm not the spiteful, I always want Alabama to lose Auburn fan or anything like that. Like, I do appreciate, like, y'all had the greatest coach ever. I think anybody that refutes that is just being difficult for the sake of argument, But yeah, I can probably talk more Alabama shop because I'm surrounded by Alabama people all the time. I'm hopeful, maybe Freeze will get it together, but I've said that for 3 years now. So we'll see what happens. My girlfriend's a Tennessee fan too. So you would think we just absolutely hate Alabama in our household. And she's a little more negative towards Alabama than I am. But yeah, we have fun with it.
All you need to know about Auburn is that everything is going to change August 1st. That's when everything is going to start going well everything is going to start going Auburn's way on August 1st. You Freeze, let us know this week. But I do want to ask you about your NFL fandom. One, who are you rooting for on Sundays if there is a team that you're rooting for?
The Bears.
Two, how did you perform in fantasy football last year?
Oh man, last year there's Bethany Go Balls. Last year was a down year for me in fantasy football. And to answer your first question, Indianapolis Colts.
My heart. I'm a Titans fan.
Oh, fair. My buddy Logan, I sent him the link to this. He's a Titans fan too. Every year we go to Nashville for the Colts-Titans game. But yeah, so the way I became a Colts fan is a very nerd-centric thing. But like, I was never a big football guy until like 2004, but I always liked playing the games. Like, I'm a big gamer. And I like passing. So early 2000s, if you like throwing the ball, you're going to probably pick the Colts because you had like Wayne, Harrison, Dallas Clark, great targets. Peyton was like a 99 for 7 years in a row, you know. So as I got into football and started watching more football, that bleeds over into Sundays, and the Colts were like the hot team at that point. So I already knew a lot of their players, and I was like, I'll just go with them. This was 2006, and then they won the Super Bowl. So I was like, hey, this is cool. Like,
we don't talk about that Super Bowl here.
Fair.
Go ahead.
I still like 2009's loss weighs heavier on me than 06's win did. Like, except Prince playing Purple Rain in the rain in the halftime show, that was sick. But like, so fantasy football this past year, I'm in a Yahoo league with a bunch of my friends. One of them has been in the chat today, James. I have been the king lizard, as my brother would put it, of that league. We're going into year 18. I've won 8 of the championships in there. I think the next highest next to me is 3. And this past year, I was coming off 5 in a row, and I was going for 6. And we called the league Infinity War, so I was treating the championships like the Infinity Stones, you know. And I told him, I was like, if I win it this time, I'm snapping, and half the league has to leave. But dude, it was just a year where like so many people got hurt in that first month. I was behind the 8 ball out of the gate, and it turned into one of those like floating around 500 in almost every league near the end of the year. There was one league I run, I called Money in the Bank, that I did pretty well in, but then the playoffs, everything just fell apart. You know, I was that much like the Colts of the 2000s. I was the hot 1 seed and then just completely blew it in the first round of the playoffs, you know. So I'm looking forward to this year. I'm scaling back on the number of leagues I'm doing because I think I might have gotten a little butter scraped over too much toast last year. I was in 9 last year, so I'm coming down to 6. We're going to drop 3 of them and give some more focus to it, but I am looking forward to this year.
We're talking to our new fantasy football analyst, Joe Wood, on the Joe Gaither Show. I'm at 2 now titles in the last handful of years in our dynasty league. Yeah, there we go. Mason and I had a great year together, coming in on Mondays, being like, "Did you win?" Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, me too. Making it happen. So Joe's going to be joining us on Fridays in the fall to make sure all of our lineup, well, really on Thursdays, to make sure all of our lineups are set properly after his 5 championships in a row. We're going to steal any sort of analysis that we can. But we are hanging about with Joe Wood because of the Star Spangled Bash on Saturday. We want to encourage you guys to join us on Saturday. Look, we know it's a huge wrestling weekend. If you're into wrestling, you already know it's going to be a massive Saturday all across the major networks, but you can record it. You can save a lot of money and really have a great interaction. The best part about wrestling to me, Joe, is the interactions, is going to the show and you can rah-rah with the wrestler. And look, I'm rah-rahing at the TV on Mondays and Friday nights usually, but New Era Wrestling gives you a chance to be right there in the action. I'm expecting a little I got to make nice with Damian Saratone. He and I had some heckling interactions in the last show at Anniversary VII. I do have to make nice with him at least before the show so that he doesn't eat me, but I enjoy just the back and forth, and it's really, really, really affordable. You got great snacks, great concessions, and you can meet a great community at New Era Wrestling right here in Jasper, Alabama. We're 1 hour away from Tuscaloosa. Very, very easy, accessible. You can get tickets on Eventbrite today. Use promo code Larry D to buy your tickets. You can find that right there on my Facebook and on my Twitters. I'll be putting out more links throughout the rest of the week. Joe, I just want to leave you the last few words here. Tell everybody maybe again what you want to do with Win Brantley, what you want to do with the draw, maybe what you're hoping to see. Obviously, nothing is set in stone. You can read the card today right there on the New Era page. You've got Larry D against Brother Asriel. You've got Action Mike Jackson against Wynn Brantley scheduled for now. We're trying to reschedule that from the last show. And you got Bubba Cagle and Max Sled. And then, of course, the New Era Open Weight Championship, the Alpha Alexander Lincoln, and the irredeemable Aiden Andrews. So, Joe, we will see you on Saturday. I just want to leave you a few minutes to kind of spread your message right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.
So we asked about Wynn. I'm going to give a piece to the three of them. Reed, I would look into something for the entirety of your head, not just your face. You know, he's wearing that stupid little mask. I know Ace softened him up a lot. Shouldn't be difficult to finish the job, cracking that thing open. So maybe go ahead and be looking for a head orthopedic or something. So really do not respect or like him at all. I think he's manipulating these other two low IQ individuals, obviously. Wynn. So, me and my brother put them down pretty hard at Pro South. Squashed him pretty good. But Wynn pinned me twice in one weekend. So man to man, I would say he's got my number, but he didn't do anything by himself. Again, it was Reed the whole time. So Wynn, I will flatten you as well Saturday. And then the one who you never hear about, Sam, little Dotson. He used to promote himself as being too hot for firefighters, which is one of the great taglines in modern history. I think had a picture of him with his arms crossed, as the lamest thing I've ever seen. So I will say this. I like kind of what we're seeing from Sam, and I think there might be something redeemable in him. But unfortunately, he distracted me, allowed Wynn to take that turnbuckle pad off and knock me silly for a few seconds. So along with Reed and Wynn, he's also going to have to get pulverized on Saturday. And like I said, I'm probably going to hit up MDK after this, talk to Cam and Ace, and see if we are putting some sort of New Era Avengers together for Saturday. Because, if it's the three of us against the three of them, or 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 or whatever, we've seen what happens when they don't have the numbers game. And if you thought what my brother and Az and Bubba did to them was an embarrassment, wait until you see what happens this Saturday. We'll string them up by their feet, leave them hanging from the rafters for the whole show.
We look forward to it. We're going to see you on Saturday. It's at the Star Spangled Bash. It's Swan Gym in Jasper, Alabama. You guys can get tickets right now on Eventbrite. Just search New Era Wrestling, or if you're on my Facebook and Twitter at Joe Gaither 6, you can find the link very, very handy right there. Use promo code Larry D. I'm going to be doing the guest ring announcing. I'm going to play as a neutral party in the ring, and so you guys can come boo me, you can come cheer me, you can come do whatever you like. On Saturday, I've got a shop today for Joe for a USA tie to get in the spirit of Star Spangled Bash. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've had a great time with you today, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me. Thanks.
Absolutely. Mason, what are we going to do to get you up there on Saturday? It's not that far. We got to do it. Do I got to bribe Melissa?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough sell for her. I am, as always, very interested in going. She is much less interested in going.
That's okay. We'll bribe her by just telling her that one of the wrestlers will beat me up. Not, I'll bring my Tennessee high school football spirit, and we'll try hard. We'll get run over.